So this is our visual mind map for ethnic inequality. So social inequality, basically class. We're going to look now at ethnic inequality. First thing to get your heads around. There's no such thing as race. The differences between humans are to do with their culture, to do with their learned and shared behaviour. They are not genetic. We are genetically almost identical with some very minor physical differences to do with skin colour and hair, etc., etc. No such thing as race. Instead, what we have is ethnicity. Different cultural backgrounds. Yeah, the best example of that, people from West Africa and people from Jamaica are identical genetically, but they have different ethnicities, yeah, because of their different histories in parts of the world, etc., etc. Yeah. Now, in the British case, we look at ethnic minorities, small groups that share their ethnicity. So Afro-Caribbeans, Black Africans, people from Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka. Yeah. They're a minority, common origin, they all come from the same place. They feel like they're part of this group, belonging. They have their distinctive culture, maybe their own words for things, different foods, etc. And to live in groups in Britain, and a lot of interaction. I mean, they all live in the same part of town, therefore they see each other a lot. Now, in sociology we study this. The importance of it is it's connected to life chances. Yeah? So you remember, your life chance is your chance of getting or avoiding certain things. Getting a good job, being healthy, good education, nice holidays, good housing. These are positive life chances. The opposite of these 5 things would be negative life chances. And being a member of an ethnic minority affects your life chances. How so? You have worse life chances. The members of ethnic minorities in Britain, on the whole, have worse life chances. It's completely straightforward, but that's the broad picture. Now, how is this done? It's done, we call, through different forms of racism. So you have cultural racism. Black people are good at dancing and singing. It's cultural racism. It's an idea. Institutional racism. So that's where, for example, the police didn't investigate Stephen Lawrence's murder properly at first because they assumed a dead black lad was probably stabbed by another black lad. And because of that, they pursued the wrong leads and let the white kids go. They didn't chase them. And that's not because they hated black people, because they were institutionally racist. They made assumptions about black people. And finally, there's racialism. This is the hardcore racism we normally talk about. I don't like black people, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to give them a job if they apply for it in my firm, for example. But the point is, what we don't know is this really class in disguise? And what I mean is, if we look at ethnic minorities, say Indians are an ethnic minority, but seem to do quite well in Britain. Afro-Caribbeans do quite badly. And is it really because social capital? So Indians, we have lots of social capital, cultural capital, that sort of thing, and therefore do quite well at school. Afro-Caribbeans, the opposite. So the point you have to make in an exam is, this ethnic inequality might be class in disguise. You know, the Afro-Caribbean people, black African people, might be doing badly in Britain because they are working class, not because they are black. Moving on. You know a little bit about ethnic subcultures. Yeah? So Afro-Caribbean, Polish, that sort of thing. Ethnic subcultures. Now, to be a subculture, you have a big but a varying degrees of overlap with the main culture. So if you were to look at Afro-Caribbean people, here, let's say this was the main culture. This is British culture. Everything we do and say and blah, blah, blah. Afro-Caribbeans would be like that. Mostly the same, with a few minor differences to do with language and food. If you look at, let's say, Bengali from Bangladesh, you're more like that. Still overlap, but more of it's outside their own language. That's not a subculture. That's a different culture, a small one. That's not a subculture, it's completely inside. And ethnic minorities often have their own subcultures, like the one I just mentioned. They tend to go like this. They start off like that, and over generations, they move in. So after a few years, it's like that. That's called assimilation. So the Polish people who are here now, because they are white, will over a few generations just become British. Yeah? All ethnic groups do this. So why do they form subcultures? It's a response to racism and poor life chances. You are rejected by the main culture, racism. So you go and live in your own little area, form your own little subculture, what we call ghettos, and you live your own life. And if you continue to be picked on, or perceive you're being picked on, or discriminated against by the main culture, it can lead to things like riots. This is how sociologists would explain things like riots.